Hey, it's Kat at Kattalestv. You haven't seen me for a while. I've been working back to what I used to do, which is acting. Many of you may not know that, but I was in acting for a while before I did entertainment news. But my life kind of goes back and forth from being in front of the camera to being behind the camera to writing and stuff. But I wanted to talk about Will Smith and Jada Pinkett. You know, because they put it out there and because Jada has constantly put out dirty laundry on the table, and also because Will Smith slapped another person, which is assault, in front of a live audience of viewers from around the world, and pretty much destroyed his reputation in about, I don't know how long that whole incident lasted, a couple of minutes, but like maybe a 30-year career tarnished because he lost control. Now, to be honest with you, any of us, including myself, can lose control. And there's consequences. There is consequences sometimes for some people. Now, in regards to this whole situation and everyone talking about it, I didn't even watch the Oscars, and all I heard was about the slap. I didn't hear about barely anyone who else won. And originally I thought maybe this whole thing was a setup because negative publicity, as you know, with the Trump administration and the Kardashians and how the media has been working for the last 10 years, negative publicity gets you more publicity than doing something positive. And I noticed something when I was going to my favorite post office that's at the Grove that sells magazines, a mom and pop shop, by the way. I saw on the cover of People or something that's all owned by AMI, if I'm not mistaken, and the person who owns that owns a bunch of other magazines. So he pretty much controls the tabloids in America, like People, Us, and Star, and also, oh my God, National Enquirer. But that guy, and his name escapes you right now, but if you look him up, he was good friends with Trump. So for the first time, I saw Will Smith on the cover of People. Not for something positive, not for something 30 years career, but because he slapped somebody and because it was newsworthy. You know, and I'm going to use the color here, when a black person does something bad, it gets a lot of attention. When they do something good, it gets very minute attention. And because Jada Pinkett Smith has decided over the last several years to put her personal business out there on the table, I feel like it's only fair to give my 2 cents. Number one, if I was blessed enough to be in a healthy, loving marriage, I would not air my dirty laundry on a table. I would not put it out there. And one of the things I noticed was, in regards to looking back at my previous behavior, when I cared about someone a lot, and I was going through a lot of turmoil because several years ago I got robbed. And I really liked this person, and they wanted to hang out with me, whatever. And I was trying to explain to that person that, hey, I'm going through hell right now, and I don't want to put you in it. And I did that in a way to protect him and also myself, because I didn't know what was going to happen and how bad the situation was at the time. And I hurt him because I never called him. Now, you have to understand something. I really like this person. I was very much attracted to him in any other circumstance. When I was in a healthier frame of mind, I would have banged his brains out. But unfortunately, in the time frame that I was in, it was not going to happen. So anyway, I didn't call him. I lost his number. I had to change phones due to the robbery situation I was in. So when I saw him again, I tried to explain to him, but he didn't want to hear it. And it broke my heart. So I kind of put some shit out there on social media, which I shouldn't have done, but I was hurt. So I acted out. It wasn't anything bad. I just put it out there. And I realized later, that's not the right thing to do. But it wasn't a marriage. It was just maybe a date or maybe a sexual encounter that was possibly going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So all I'm trying to say is, when you really love someone, and you're in a committed relationship, you don't hurt them. And I have to say this, Jada Pinkett seems to enjoy punishing Will Smith over and over and over again. And anyone who's been in this situation knows exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. When you honor and cherish someone and you take your vows seriously, you don't want to brutalize them in media. You don't want to destroy their reputation or their brand. And over again, Jada's done that. Now, I'm going to say this. I think because of Jada's upbringing, because I didn't know all the stuff about her mom being a drug addict and all the trauma she went through as a child. But I think that obviously has a residue on her and her psychology. I don't think she knows what a healthy relationship is. Now, anybody that's lived in Hollywood and anyone who's worked in Hollywood over the last, 20, 30 years, they've heard rumors about Will and Smith's relationship, their parties, and all kinds of weird shit. I never was involved with any of that stuff. I'm not into that lifestyle. But the funny thing is, if you're going to tell the truth, Jada and Will. Quit playing around. It's like they have an open marriage and they try to act like they're whatever. I'm not going to go into it, but you can glean what I'm trying to say. Bottom line is, if all you can do is hurt and abuse each other, that's not a marriage. Or actually, maybe it is. I'm starting to think Jada Pinkett is a dominatrix. I mean, when I mean a dom, as in she controls Will. Like she, and I'm going to say this, he obviously allows it to happen, but I don't get how she can film her husband in their own house when he obviously doesn't want to be filmed, and she just keeps filming him. I'll just say this. When I was shooting entertainment news and stuff like that, and dealing with a lot of celebrities in Beverly Hills, if they didn't want to be shot, I pretty much did not shoot them. In the beginning, I tried to do what all the other guys were doing because I didn't know any better. But once I shot Michael Jackson and I walked behind him and I saw what it was like to be photographed by 50 people and other people grabbing at him and stuff like that, it totally humbled me to the fact that lifestyle sucks. When people don't respect you and they just use you and they just shoot you and it's like rape, being raped by a camera. So the whole thing is that I feel like Jada, in a way, allowed their marriage or Will's brand to be raped with her constant putting out their dirty laundry in public. It's none of our business. I mean, if they want to fuck around, that's their business. But the problem is she put it out there on the red table. Why did she do that? To hurt him. It's like she doesn't have the same level of career as her husband does. And people's egos are real. You know what I mean? I've dated guys where, they got real jealous when I was either working on a martial arts thing or doing whatever I did. And also I had a boyfriend that was working with some actresses that were coming on to him and stuff. You can get jealous. But when your career's like one spouse's career is extremely successful and the other person's career isn't the same, the ego can get involved and all kinds of weird stuff can happen. So power games can happen. But again, I want to say this. When you truly love somebody and you have a healthy relationship, you don't abuse them over and over again. And hopefully you learn. She keeps talking about healing. She needs to learn how to have a marriage. If she doesn't want to respect her husband, if she doesn't want a man to protect her, she should get out of that marriage. And I'm saying this to Will. I've never seen him look so miserable in my life. And I've worked on 2 projects of his that I will not name, I've never seen his face. If you look at his eyes, he looks like he's I almost want to say suicidal. He doesn't look well. And anybody that loves him and cares for him would notice that. It's a brutal, Hollywood is, in any competitive world, Hollywood can be brutal. But self-love and self-care is what I've learned over the last 2 years of dealing with COVID, working out almost as much as I could and looking at myself and doing some work on myself. I'm not a perfect person. I say shit all the time. I'm having a challenge right now, communicating with someone and being very, very patient and trying not to let my ego or my needs overshadow the great friendship we have. And it's a learning process. But again, when you commit to somebody, when you get a ring on your finger, if it's a real marriage, you don't do that. You don't abuse your husband. I'm not saying what Will Smith did was right. You cannot just assault people. Trust me, you know how many people I wanted to fucking assault or worse? I've had to swallow that and work through it. But you can't do that. It damaged his brand and he's going to pay the consequences. And on the flip side is Jada, you can't be writing notes, having your daughter write notes about how much you love Tupac and all this other weird shit that she does. And with the August stuff, I had no idea August was Jaden's friend and he was 20 or something and he was sick and he was mentally ill and she slept with him and had a relationship with him and then thought a young man wasn't going to fall hard for her and she thought that was an entanglement. What kind of game is she playing? Someone needs to really sit down and tell her, bitch, shut the fuck up. I just got a bug in my mouth, sorry. But when a fly is talking shit or it's whatever. But seriously, shut the fuck up. Why are you abusing your husband? Why are you saying all this stuff? If he hurt you, if he had lots of affairs, if he did something that you didn't want and it hurt you to the core where you're just abusing him every day, get out of the marriage. It's embarrassing. That's not real love. That's not real black love. This is abuse. We're watching a long, I don't even know. I don't know how long this shit's been going on, but a long years and years of abuse cycle. It's sickening to watch. But again, looking back at her upbringing, and then I don't know if I know all of Will's upbringing, but they got Bel Air 2 going on. But I'm assuming his family dynamic wasn't all that hot either. But considering Jada's mother was a heroin addict for God knows how long, and I think Will family had a lot of abuse in it. They're 2 broken people that maybe never got the therapy to show or an example of show a loving parental relationship, and they don't know how to be good parents because they're working on their own narcissistic needs of being a star. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, this is such an abusive relationship that it's painful to, I don't even watch normally because I never watched Red Table Talk. I just saw clips. I don't want to see this shit anymore. People are talking about it. They're talking about it more than the war in Ukraine, more about the lack of mental health care in America. But they're talking about it more than the homeless situation. I live in LA, and you know how many homeless people there are? People can't afford rent. How many businesses don't even have a person answering the phone? You can't get help. It's very frustrating. And they do it intentionally so you give up and you don't complain or you don't you have no customer service. There's better, bigger issues than Will Smith and Jada Pinkett. However, because Jada put it out there and then also Will reacted the way he did, we're talking about it. But it's a damn shame because Will's very talented and Jada's talented in her way too. But spend more time, it's kind of late, but spend more time working on yourself and being good parents. Sometimes in a relationship, you have to say to yourself, I'm going to change my behavior for the betterment of my children and the betterment of our marriage. And if the marriage is not healthy, get out. But don't abuse us by your constant drama. The Oscars is not a time to, like, show your ass, as they would say in the South. You know what I'm saying? Because people are watching that. And it's important for us to set positive examples to other generations and other people who might look at us. And when I say us, I'm saying black people looking at us in a negative way. We need to see positive role models. You understand what I'm trying to say? So please, mental health care and learning how to be a good parent and knowing how to be a good person as best as you can is really important. And we don't have we need classes in schools for that, because a lot of kids are going to school and they come from hellified homes and they end up doing drugs and they end up being overly promiscuous and they have no boundaries and they're really messed up, and then they start messing around with other people that are messed up and they create more trauma. We need to deal with that. But this is a situation where we can actually look at the situation and hopefully learn something positive from it, but also look at ourselves and say, what am I doing that's not copacetic? You know what I mean? Trust me, it's a work in progress. I am not perfect, but also I don't tell all of my business in the street. You know what I'm saying? It's like shit. There's people who know stuff about Will and Jada. I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't know, but Will looks like he's in a hostage situation. Jada just, it's like, I swear to God, she's a dominatrix. If you ever watch porn, she acts like a dom and he acts like a cockhold that will do anything she says and keeps trying to please her, but she'll never be pleased. And he gets there. You have a weird dynamic where they get off to it. So maybe they are the happiest couple in their trauma wavelength. I don't know, but I think it's just sickening to watch. I don't like a man demasculated. And let me just end on this. I don't know, was it 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I think, I met Habib Nurmagomedov, if I said his name right. I always used to say Khabib, but it's Habib, right? I met him before he beat Conor, and when Conor was starting to act like a real dick. And I used to really love Conor McGregor. I mean, I loved his characterization. I thought he was great for the whole MMA world. He was a great character. But he didn't have the real stuff. In other words, the real honor of being a martial artist, the real respect for other people. He acted nouveau riche and had no class. He acted like a hooligan. But when I met Habib in Boston, I literally bowed to that man because he had something that was what I call like a real man, a real warrior, a man that would protect his family, a man that if I was empress of the world and I wanted the perfect general, I would have him as my, if I couldn't have him as a lover because he was married hot, I'd have him as my main protector because I knew he would care about honor and I knew he would protect me. Whereas if I had a choice of like Conor McGregor, I knew that motherfucker wouldn't give a shit about me and he would just be doing whatever and probably trying to take over my throne because he's a dick. So getting back to what a woman of stature, what a woman of self-love and self-care, a woman who's capable of loving another person, she wants a man, or if you're a lesbian, she wants a partner who respects and honors her and protects her. What woman really means that she doesn't need protection? Trust me, I can fight, but when I'm with a man, and let's just say this, if I'm walking down the street and some guy tries to attack me, I would hope, I mean, I might make a fast move because I'm really fast, but I would hope my man would protect me, no? I don't understand what the fuck's going on. if Jada doesn't need a man, get out of the marriage. Maybe you need a woman. I don't know. But she seems like a dom. She seems like a dominant, and Will seems like a simp. And maybe that's the way they like it, but it's bad. It's bad. If I was his manager or his best friend, I would literally counsel him. Hopefully he's getting the help that he needs, but I'd say get the hell out of that marriage. No offense. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I have to go to a set right now. But seriously, take care of your mental health, your self-love and your self-care, because I'm telling you, it's a lifelong struggle. And also, when you really care about someone, love is patience and kindness, and also being honest, but try to handle some of your most intimate, private stuff privately. And if Will hurt Jada by, sleeping around with other people, and she couldn't handle it, even though they said they had an open marriage, then they got to deal with that. But they should deal with that privately, not publicly. All right? So anyway, you guys have a fantastic day. You can check me out on Poshmark, eBay, Etsy, Redbubble. I'm on something else, but I can't remember. But, and also YouTube, la, 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 la. But yeah, have a great day. Bye-bye.